Hello, my viewers. Thank you so much for choosing Mokwa Times. What are some of the reasons as to why Rigathi Gachagua and his team entirely with the opposition team lost at MBEERE North? That's what I want to take you through on this particular video. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, please take a second or two to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Without much wasting of time, allow me to dive into this topic here today. The first reason as to why Rigathi Gachagua and his team lost at MBEERE North, one, it is underrating President William Ruto. William Ruto, the way things are always said, he has never lost an election ever since he joined politics. But miraculously, Rigathi Gachagua and the entire opposition team felt like William Ruto would not be able to beat them at MBEERE North. So they were so much overconfident. In fact, Rigathi Gachagua allowed them to go there, do their things, everyone within the government to go there, mobilize, reach out to the people. And then he came out to the last minute, probably the last 3-4 days, where he eventually started his campaigns at MBEERE North. Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua was very confident that going into MBEERE North, the people listened to him because he is the leader of Mount Kenya region. Little did they remember that William Ruto has been crafting this. He created that by-election there by giving Roko the ministerial position. So he created it basically with a strategy, and that is what the opposition did not remember. That's how they were beaten at MBEERE North. Secondly, the underrating of Underrating Kindiki. I did a video here last time, and I've actually talked about, even in my discussions on the live shows that I usually hold from 10 to 11 at Mokwa Times, I said that people have seriously underrated Underrating Kindiki. Right now, as we speak, Underrating Kindiki has won by far. And in fact, he has cemented his chance of becoming a deputy president for William Ruto after 2027 if he wins an election. But he's going to be his running mate in 2027. In a nutshell, Underrating Kindiki's role was really huge at that particular point. Look at this. William Ruto did not go there for any form of by-election campaigns. He did not. He kept away and left Kindiki to do his campaigns. He left the governor of Embu, together with other leaders from that region like Roko, now the minister, to ensure that they have gotten that seat back to government. And in a nutshell, they got that seat indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a clear indication that Underrating Kindiki did a wonderful job. Now, Rigathi Gachagua and the entire opposition team underrated him. In fact, Rigathi Gachagua was openly saying that wacha Ruto kuja mwenyewe, hii watu wamfanya kazi wake hawataki. That was a clear indication that they had underrated the ability of Underrating Kindiki. And in fact, do you know that Underrating Kindiki was always on and off from that region? So if he could have stayed there for long, as many other leaders did so, ladies and gentlemen, as we speak today, it could have been a huge landslide. But nevertheless, it's a big loss for the opposition team. Another thing that the opposition team did, which was very wrong, especially Rigathi Gachagua, it is by underrating the role of a governor. Ladies and gentlemen, I've always done a video here. I've always talked of the role of governors in Rigathi Gachagua's strength in Mount Kenya. I have even asked, why are these people keeping off Rigathi Gachagua's campaigns? Because the reason as to why I was asking this, these are people very in touch with the ground. These are people who have money. These are people who are politicians that have won seats locally. So you can't just underrate their ability. They have their structure all the way from the office down to the villages. So once you go there for the campaigns, you have to remember the governor is always there. Now, they underrated Karinda. Karinda was really underrated. And that is what really happened. Because Karinda reactivated her campaign machines for 2022. And that's how they were able to help in mobilization and even to ensure that at least that seat has gone back to the UDA side. Because it was in DP, but the DP candidates, the DP MP by that time, Roko, was working in the UDA government. So in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, the underrating of Karinda was one of the biggest mistakes that the opposition team did. Another reason as to why these leaders lost at MBEERE North, it is because of one simple thing, money also. Money played a huge role. This shows clearly that the opposition team, they need to work very hard to at least try and gather some enough resources to face President William Ruto come 2027. If you could see from the branding, the type of politics that these people are doing, the movement right, left and center, choppers here and there, vehicles here and there, nice sound systems, you can be able to tell there was a huge difference actually from the UDA and the opposition team, because branding was very minimal. So in a nutshell, it shows that money plays a huge role when it comes to the campaigns of this country. In fact, when Rigathi Gachagua was moving around, someone could just tell the level of poverty in that particular region. So in a nutshell, money will have a huge impact on what happens locally. So it was important for the opposition team to consider resources. They did not pull resources. Rigathi Gachagua assumed that being an orator, also being a leader from Mount Kenya, who is right now among the top in the Mount Kenya region, he can be able to convince people there to at least vote for Karish. But unfortunately, things went south. So money played a significant role in the campaigns of MBEERE North. And in fact, they are saying it was a huge amount of money that was used there. People are approximating it to him as 500 to 600 billion shillings. I don't know how true is that, but the fact remains that money was really used in huge numbers. Another thing that made Rigathi Gachagua lose that seat is simply lack of support. We can honestly state it here that the allies Rigathi Gachagua has been having ever since he left power are the ones who were actually there at MBEERE North. Other outsiders did not come. Outsiders, I mean people who are not in Rigathi Gachagua's circle. Let's talk of the Jubilee leaders. Let's talk of other leaders within Mount Kenya, like the governors, senators, except those who've been with him. People kept off Rigathi Gachagua. They left him. Everyone was watching from a distance. What will happen to Rigathi Gachagua? So in a nutshell, lack of support also made this team of Rigathi Gachagua to really be overwhelmed in terms of resources, energy, manpower, plus many other things. In a nutshell, that's also a big setback for the opposition team and Rigathi Gachagua at large because they lost it narrowly. Another reason as to why Rigathi Gachagua lost that position is because of the choice of candidate. First of all, when you look at the dynamics in terms of numbers of MBEERE North, the ward that has the largest number of voters was left out. And they decided to literally bank on Karish, who comes from a slightly smaller group, which actually had the least number of voters. So ladies and gentlemen, if these people could have maintained their plan and go with someone from that ward where Justin Muturi comes from, there's a likelihood they could have won that seat very early in the morning. But now there was no motivation because as they were campaigning back at home, we had this gentleman by the name Kivoi, who was literally from Justin Muturi's side. And this gentleman, to be honestly speaking here, he has numbers and he could have appealed a huge support from that particular region. Then in addition to what could have happened probably from Karish's side, then these people were supposed to claim that seat very early in the morning. But they ignored the numbers, they ignored the statistics, and they settled on one simple candidate, Karish, basically because from the DP party. And this was actually the making of none other than Justin Muturi. Ladies and gentlemen, another reason as to why these people lost is because of the charisma of Justin Muturi. He's not really considered as a huge leader in that region. He doesn't have a big say. We saw him literally try to wrangle people. That is not a leader we expect to leaders in this country. When you feel that when someone says something wrong, you have to physically face this person and wrestle him. That is not ideal. But nevertheless, also we have to accept here that DP candidate was not strong, basically because also the DP party leader is not such a strong leader within MBEERE North. The other thing that actually led to Rigathi Gachagua's loss is because of one simple thing. There's no proper unity behind Rigathi Gachagua's leadership. Yes, the mountain might have made a decision by the people that they don't want to be in government, yes. But now, basically what I'm seeing here, actually the entire Mount Kenya is not entirely united behind Rigathi Gachagua, and that is the fact. I did a poll here on this particular channel, and I saw about 56% people are supporting. Actually, it was dropping day by day because we realized that at some point it was 70, it went down further, and as we speak today, it's around 59%, where we are having Rigathi Gachagua is now considered as the leader of Mount Kenya. Now, you can see there's a huge percentage of almost 40+% who are actually not pro-Rigathi Gachagua. That shows the entire Mount Kenya is not united. So the people of MBEERE North equally are from Mount Kenya. There could be some who really subscribe to Rigathi Gachagua's type of leadership and some who do not. So that actually also was well showcased in the results of MBEERE North. Last but not least, the government did some proper campaigns. Ladies and gentlemen, William Ruto, first of all, was very smart. What did he do? He decided to keep off all the by-elections in this country. Did not even go there except Kisii, and did not even go to Nyamira. So William Ruto ensured that he has kept off to avoid any form of influence. So he left the battle to be within the brothers. It was called a friendly match, where Kithure Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua were battling at MBEERE North. And indeed, Kithure Kindiki took it up and he ensured that it was him and Gachagua facing off. So eventually, Kithure Kindiki has won. Ladies and gentlemen, if William Ruto could have come, in fact, he could have escalated the feelings within the people of MBEERE North, who could have eventually gone ahead to vote against them. So in a nutshell, William Ruto was also smart to ensure that he has kept off. Nevertheless, he ensured there's enough money, enough equipment, enough personnel to do proper campaigns within MBEERE North. And that's how they won the seat. I don't know what's your take, but in the comment section, you can be able to drop what you think meant to resulted to Rigathi Gachagua's loss. But according to me, that's what I think. That's my video there and there. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment because that is the best support you can always give this channel. My name is Abel Mokwa. See you next time.